Following multiple claims and allegations against the Grammys for its nomination process, the Recording Academy has made changes to its nomination process. Unpeeled's music reporter Nick Gutierrez is welcomed right back in and tells us what led up to these changes and who the voters will be moving forward.
The Recording Academy is meant to act with integrity and transparency when deciding who will walk away with a Gilded Gramophone or Grammy on music's biggest night. However, 3 days before the 62nd Grammy Awards, former Recording Academy CEO Deborah Dugan came forward claiming various conflicts of interest and a lack of integrity amongst the Academy's nomination committees. Such allegations only compounded what was being expressed by some artists. You may recall The Weeknd voiced his dismay after not being nominated for any awards despite the success of his record-shattering album After Hours, and also later claimed that the most awards-coveted committees lacked representation of people of color. From the outside looking in, the claims appear to be justified, as both artists like Kanye West, Jay-Z, Halsey, and fans have been stunned in recent years by both the final nominees and choice of Grammy winner in certain categories. The decision announced last week to have all the members of the Recording Academy instead of a select few, making it a more democratic process, is a step in the right direction to regain the trust of artists and fans alike.
Now, Nick, what is going to be different about this new nomination process?
Well, there's a couple of changes, but the biggest change is that each artist nominated will be decided upon by the entirety of the Recording Academy instead of by review committees. Now, this is important because these review committees have decided the nominees for the 4 biggest prizes, those being Best Album, Best Song, Record of the Year, and Best New Artist. So, with these changes, one single vote will reduce the importance and also lessen the amount of implicit bias in these reviewers. Another change to note is that the Academy will be adding 2 new categories to help boost artists nominated and visibility, those being Best Global Music Performance and Best Urban Latin Music Album. This will make the Latin music category have the most opportunities for representation than any other genre, and these changes will come into effect on January 31st, 2022 for the 64th edition of the Grammys.
Why has the Academy decided to make changes to the nomination process despite allegations being raised in years prior?
Of course, well, 2 reasons, one being trust and one being a lack of representation. When it comes to trust, artists like Zayn Malik and The Weeknd have voiced their dismay with these review committees. For our viewers at home, you guys may remember the coverage we did on the Grammys this past year, and The Weeknd's After Hours album received no nominations despite it being labeled as double platinum weeks into the event. And how did The Weeknd take the changes? Well, in a statement to New York Times, he said, "Even though I won't be submitting my music, the Grammys' recent admission of corruption will hopefully be a positive move in the future of this plagued award and give the artist community the respect it deserves with a transparent voting process." And finally, with representation, it's good to know that in the past there's been multiple white artists who've beaten out artists of color for the most coveted awards, despite the fact that objectively the artists of color had better albums or projects in those cycles.
Nick, great stuff as always. Coming up on Unpeeled, a new Amazon series is building a new fan base for J.K. Simmons, and they're out. Details of the MCU's upcoming movies are next.